All call. Thank you for joining the all call today. If you haven't done so already, if you're just joining us, please change your name to reflect your full name and base. If you're unable to do that, please add it to the chat. On today's all call, we're going to review the mutual respect policy that comes from the AFA Constitution and bylaws, an introduction of your MEC and LEC officers, communications update, a management meeting update, and then we'll have some time for some questions, and then our next negotiation meeting times. The mutual respect policy, the Association of Flight Attendants, is opposed to any discrimination based on age, color, disability, gender identity, or gender expression. Unacceptable behavior includes unwelcome physical, verbal, or nonverbal conduct, including use of electronic communication, and any behavior that ridicules, intimidates, or is physically abusive or disruptive. What we ask of you is that you treat everyone, including all AFA, CWA members, leaders, and activists, as well as AFA, CWA staff members, and meeting guests with respect and dignity. On the call today, you have your MEC officers. You have Jen Sala, the MEC president. I'm Andrew Kofflow, the MEC vice president. You have Toy Scott, the MEC secretary treasurer. The voting members of the MEC are made up of our local presidents. That includes Kathleen O'Brien from Council 71, New Ware from 79, Ronald Bowman from 81, Wilmer Wynn from 84, Michael Rice from 85, Brianna Whalen from 86, and Ethan Clark from 87. If you need to contact any of your local officers, here's their email addresses, or you can go directly to the ticketing system at askf9afa.org. I'll leave the screen up for just a minute in case you want to take a screenshot or picture of it. First up, we have a communications update. Toy, are you ready?
I'm ready. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. We just wanted to talk to you about the Day of Action that's coming up on February 13th. This is a day where flight attendants from all airlines gather together and we picket, and we are all going through a lot right now. A lot of airlines are going through contract negotiations. We're about to start contract negotiations. We're also fighting this all-turn concept that the company is bringing up. So we have a lot to be vocal about. So this is the day that we do that. We will have more information later this week, early next week, on location and times and how you can sign up for that. Big thing is if you're sitting couch, you can come pick it with us as long as you can make it through KCM in time if you get called. But yes, we like for everyone to be in full uniform compliance. But yeah, that's the major thing for Day of Action. Don't forget the calendar on the website, afafrontier.org. That'll tell you more details too. Facebook cleanup. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. We're going to be cleaning up membership, making sure that everyone is still an employee here. And to do that, a lot of our members need to fill out membership questions, just because you were members long before Facebook ever thought about creating membership questions. And so since you were already in the group, you didn't have to. It just makes it easier for us to verify employment and stuff. Sorry, give me 1 second for me to share my screen. Oh, am I sharing? No, you're sharing, Andrew.
Wait, what do you need me to do?
Can you stop sharing for just a second?
Yeah,
Sorry.
there you go.
Thank you. Okay, so you'll go to our Facebook page, AFA Frontier. You will click on members. You'll click on your own icon, and then you'll see it'll look like it goes to your profile, but it doesn't. Right here where it says membership questions, I haven't answered them because I was in the group before. And then we'll go in and you will fill out your questions. Once it'll say, well, it'll say edit, and then you will fill them out, submit. We'll get the notification that you've done so, and then we can verify. If you do not verify by March 1st, we will just delete you from the group and you'll have to rejoin and fill out those membership questions. So to avoid all that chaos, we just ask that you do it before March 1st. That's it.
Thanks, Toy.
No problem.
Now I'm gonna have to figure out how to share again.
As our next slide, management update. Oh.
Yes, it sure is.
All right. I was going to give you some time to get it up there. I was going to just start talking. Okay. So we had a meeting with management today. It actually ran really long with grievances. So we didn't get to a lot of the topics that we wanted to cover on the management side. We've had a huge uptick in grievances this year. And so our grievance hearing times have extended past where they're supposed to be, but we want to make sure your grievances get heard each time we meet with them. So we did have to take a little bit of time away from our normal management meet with them to get that completed today. But we did go through a couple of things. Um, I've been pushing them to offer, or we have been pushing for them to offer temporary low time positions along with the COLAs. For January and February, we couldn't get an agreement with them. They didn't want to do the temporary low time. I believe that they are going to offer, in addition to the COLAs, they're going to offer the temporary low time in March. That is not definite yet, but at least now we have their ear and they're listening, and hopefully we can get them to offer both in March for March bids. As far as FLICA alerts go, I know it's been a huge issue for a lot of people that our alerts have not been getting through on your phones. We've talked to CAE, FLICA, crew scheduling, crew planning, everyone and their mother trying to figure out what's going on. The update that we got today is that we were told by CAE that it is affecting multiple customer bases, which probably means multiple airlines, and that they are still blaming the carriers because when they send something out to the carrier, both the email and the text message goes out in the exact same way to the carrier. So the exact same message is sent to the carriers, whether it's an email or a text. And because of that, the emails are still going through and the text messages are not necessarily going through to all of us. And so CAE is still saying that it is an individual carrier issue. They are escalating it through all the carriers that they work with, you know, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, all of them. But what seems to be happening is it's a he said, she said, they blame us, that we blame them kind of scenario. So we haven't gotten the outcome that we want yet, but do know that it's been escalated on all levels, and they are all still working on trying to find a fix, and still blaming each other for it. So, like I said, we're still working on it, and hopefully we have a better answer for you guys coming up soon. For FMLA issues, we just feel like we have a lot of FMLA issues with Frontier flight attendants, and it's a constant conversation with the company about FMLA source, about dependability, about how things are recoded, when things are recoded, why they aren't recoded efficiently, why there's fact-finding meetings when we're waiting on a recode. I mean, there's the list for FMLA issues goes on and on and on. We're trying to get some clarity with the company, trying to fix some of those issues, and trying to make the company aware of what those issues are for the flight attendant group. This is something that's an ongoing discussion, and we will continue to try and make FMLA better for you guys, the process and the approvals and the not having to get recerts and all of the crazy things that they do. But we don't have an answer for it yet. But I want you guys to know that we are aware that it's a huge issue for a lot of you, and we're still working on it with the company. Oddly enough, toll-free numbers. We've gotten a lot of requests lately for a toll-free number for Frontier. Probably stemming from the fact that we have a lot of people who are out of the country, international destinations right now, and maybe don't have cell service, international cell service. And so we did get the number from the company today. If you need to get a hold of company when you are flying and you don't want to pay for it, this is a number here. It's the 1877 F9 fly in, and it's option number 5 due to hold of crew scheduling. That's 1-877-393-5946. So hopefully that helps a lot of you. Like I said, we've had quite a few asking for the number lately, and it's just not listed anywhere. So this is the number if you need to get a hold of crew scheduling, toll free. All of us had to take the training. There was a CBT recently that was due December 31st. It was a customer service training unit, and it had the Barclays training incorporated into it. Your union has an issue with the fact that it is a voluntary program and it's been put into a mandatory training. We feel like if it's a voluntary program, it needs to be a voluntary training. So we are expressing our concern with the company, and trying to get those Barclay trainings pulled from our normal CBTs and put online separately as a volunteer CBT for those of you who want to participate in the program. And for those people who don't want to participate in the program, you shouldn't have to do that training. We have agreed that you guys should be aware of the program. If they want to put something about the program into the mandatory CBT, that's one thing. But to force you guys to take the entire training when you don't want to be a part of that program just seems odd and weird. So we're working on that as well. There was talk in one of Barry's videos about a third base in 2024. So we've been trying to pry that information out of in-flight so that we could give you guys a heads up. And the truth of the matter is it's still up in the air. There's been no definite decision on which base would be the third base and if there is actually still going to be a third base opened in 2024. So if we get that information before it goes to the news department, we'll let you know. We certainly try to get the information first, but every once in a while the company just bypasses us. So we don't like that, and we made that very clear that we want the information first. But so far the third base, they said, has not been decided and has not been made a definite program going forward yet. So that's where the third base stands for 2024. And that's pretty much all we got to today with management. So I'm going to turn it over for questions. Let's go to questions first. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, concerns, things you want to talk about, I'm sure there's things that we want to talk about. Let me go ahead and just give you a really quick update. Our petition is out. Signatures The last I checked was last week, and we had a little over 3,000 signatures. I'm expecting way more. We're still pushing this, making sure that we get as many signatures as possible before we present this to upper management. So if you haven't already, please go and sign the petition. If you have family and friends who will sign it, please have them do so as well. If you have other people in the airline industry that can help us out, throw it over to them. Anywhere you guys can get signatures, let's show up in numbers on this one. As far as where we are with the company, we don't know any more than we knew last time I talked to you. We do know I'm working with International and our attorneys to get a high-level meeting with Frontier. So we're trying to get that on the books right now. And we also need to send out a survey to you guys. And coming on the heels of the company survey, which is a whole nother discussion, I want you guys to be clear, if we send out a survey, that is a survey for the union to gather information to help us progress in this fight. So when you see the survey come out, it is a union survey. It is not a company survey. And it is a survey for us to figure out what you guys need and how we can best push and approach everything with the company. So please keep that in mind, and please fill it out and have everyone you know fill it out. I believe we're going to try to put that survey out to you guys next week. And if you guys can get everyone to fill it out, we just need some data to back up some of our the things that we're going to talk about with the company. So that being said, do you guys have any questions or concerns that you want to talk about? If you do, you can raise your hand and we'll have you unmute, or you can
Jen,
put something in the chat box. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
before you do questions, I was trying to chat, or to text. I can't see the chat while I'm sharing my screen. So it will be helpful to
All
give
right.
the negotiations and then come back to questions.
That's fine. That would be great. Go ahead and do that.
So I can stop sharing my screen, but
All right. So this is just our last tidbit. Our next set of, or our first set of real negotiations with the company begin the week of January 21st. And we will be meeting with you guys the evening of January 23rd to give you guys a full update on what happened in those meetings. So our next negotiation update is going to be January 23rd at 9 o'clock Eastern time. We have it set so late because we don't know how long we're going to go with the company, and we certainly don't want to cut off any time with the company in order to have a conversation with you guys. So we want to make sure we get a full day with the company before we come back and report to you guys. So the next negotiation Zoom, January 23rd, 2100 Eastern time, and we will get out a Zoom link for you for that. Let's see, Toy, do we know if that link is already on the AFA Frontier website, or do I need to get it out there?
Yes, all the next 3 or 4 are up on the website under the negotiations tab.
Okay, so it is already a standing reservation there, you guys. But we will try to send it out that morning as well, so it's convenient for you. But if you do not get it, you can go to the afafrontier.org website under negotiations, and you'll find the Zoom links for these calls. So the next one, or the first one, I should say, we got a little typo there. Next one's January 23rd at 9 Eastern time. All right, now you can get rid of your screen. Perfect.
woohoo! Right. Jen gave you a rundown of the questions already. If you want to raise your hand, if you want to put it in the chat box, we're trying to manage all three. In addition to what Jen said about questions, the only thing that I will add to that is that we will not answer questions regarding negotiations. If those come up, we're going to direct you back to the negotiations email or to your local leadership to answer those. Because this meeting is being recorded and posted to the membership via websites and social channels, we'll keep those questions confidential. So we're not trying to be rude. We're just trying to make sure that you get those answers, and we keep our strategies to ourselves. All right. Any questions? I'm looking in the chat now. From Anissa Long, does the company recommend, or does the union recommend doing the company survey?
That feels like a loaded question, Anissa. Um, we can't tell you not to do the survey. Just know that doing the survey is giving the company information they need to replace you, should they need to. You guys need to do what you feel comfortable. If the company asks for something from you, you do what's comfortable for you. It is not mandatory. It is not under must reads. It is under memos. And so whether or not you do it is 100% up to you. But they are looking to collect data to see if they need to do more hiring. So keep that in mind when you're contemplating doing it.
Toy, there's a question about answering the Facebook questions. Do you want to re-explain that again, or do you want to go into the chat and answer that question?
No, I'll re-explain it, but I didn't see the question. Let's see.
It
This is
just
how do we
popped
go
in.
back and answer the Facebook group questions?
Oh, yes. Okay, so you go to the Facebook group page, AFA Frontier. You click on members, and you'll click on your own icon. And it'll look like it takes you to your page, but it's not actually taking you to your Facebook page. You scroll down, and on the left side, you'll see membership questions. And you'll just edit those questions, fill them out, and hit submit. Also, Andrew, can you add me back to the group, please?
Yes,
Thanks.
I will. From Jen Lacerda, when's the next official chance we'll get to talk to the company or management about this turn model? We have a meeting with the planning department on the 12th. That's our next scheduled meeting. We'll have it in person, and we'll be there. We have some follow-up questions from what we've been learning that we hope to get some answers to.
Yeah, and Jen, keep in mind that when we talk to the people further down the chain, like crew planning and crew scheduling, they're following orders, and they are literally just telling us what they're supposed to be doing. When we talk about our official chance to actually talk to them, meaning the senior management team, the people who are making these decisions, that is something that we're currently trying to set up. And we have Sarah Nelson involved, so that we can get with all of senior management to have a real conversation about this turn model with them.
This might be a silly question, but signing the petition, can the company use that against us?
I don't think it's a silly question. I think that the number of people who sign it, it would be an unlikely retaliation event, simply because it is us just voicing our opinion. I don't think that the company will see it as a threat from each individual flight attendant more than a general consensus of all of us that this is not okay. So no silly questions. I understand your concern, but no, I don't think that it's something the company would use against any individual flight attendant. All right, let's see.
Have you met the new VP of in-flight? Any thoughts?
We have Andrew, myself, and Toy had a private meeting with him last week,
Yeah,
before
it
Christmas,
was.
right before Christmas.
It was last week.
He is a very nice gentleman. I think anyone who comes into the company has high hopes of achieving, this perfect blend of everyone's going to be happy and we're going to do what's right by everyone. It's going to be a wait and see kind of proposition. He comes from EasyJet, so he comes from a model from Europe where it's out and back model. So he is used to, and he is going to be an asset to the company when it comes to doing what the company wants, which is doing the turns. He said that EasyJet was one of his favorite, most the best jobs to work at. So I do know that he has positive thoughts about turning us into a turn airline. That's probably the only part of this that I'm already concerned about. But as far as his personality and as far as what he wants to do and all of that, I always say it's a wait and see process. Um, he seems like a nice enough person, and he wants to do right by us. But I think what they do is a bigger indication than what they say. So let's give him some time and see what he comes up with, and see if he's really going to be something we can be happy to have in our company. But I'm always willing to give him a chance.
Um, where do we direct family, friends, and other flight attendants to access the petition?
Toy, do you want to take that?
There is a, what do we call them?
Link?
Newsletter link. I will put it on the homepage of the website in about 30 minutes. So
There you go.
that'll make
Thank
it,
you.
that'll be the easiest answer. I'll put it up in 30 minutes.
All right. So it'll be on the afafrontier.org website. You'll have easy access to it and to push it through to other people. Let's see.
From Cynthia, when is the company thinking about doing turns?
The company, as you can tell by probably the last couple of bid packets, is heading in that direction. Well, the last update that we got was that it would be at least 60% turns by the March bid packet and at least 80% turns by the July bid packet.
From Anissa, is Anthony, the catering manager, still around? He doesn't answer text or emails anymore.
Anissa, I just saw an email from him, from another member that CC'd me. So he is still around. Text me, Anissa, and I'll make sure you have the right email. Actually, let me see what it is, so everyone can have it. But I don't think it's changed, but I did see a member get through to him just the other day. So let me see. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's still same Anthony Iorio. I don't know how to say his last name. So Anthony.iorio@flyfrontier.com, and he did just recently answer a couple of questions for some people. So I'd say try again. Maybe he was out for the holidays or something, but yeah, give it another try, Nessa. Anyone else? Any more questions, you guys? Let me see if I can not at the bottom of this.
Well, I'm seeing so far.
All right. Anything else, you guys? All right.
MJ has a question. MJ, do you want to unmute or do you want to chat it?
So MJ's question is, how important is unity at this time? We can't possibly stress enough how important it is that we show up together in all of these things. What we say as a group is backed by the group, and what we bring to management is backed by every one of you. And when we show up together, we make a much bigger impact than if I just go to them and say, you guys are concerned about something. The best ways you guys can show unity right now is obviously always having a AFA pin on. If you have an AFA lanyard, please use that instead of the Frontier ones. If you will be getting, the bag tags are actually on order for the contract. So once we get those, they'll be going to all the bases. Make sure you put those on your bags. The more we can show Frontier that we all stand together, the stronger we are together, and the more pressure we can put on them when we ask and need things from them. Was that what you wanted to hear, MJ? All right. Let's see. Anything else, you guys?
I
right.
don't see any other questions.
All right. Then we will call it. And once again, our the next negotiation Zoom meeting is going to be January 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then on the our next Zoom meeting will be February, I'm going to say 7th, and I'm hoping it's the right day. Is that the first Wednesday? My dogs are
It
just pointing
is
at you.
February
Yes,
2nd.
yes. Okay.
Also, you
so
have a couple
February-
more questions that just popped up in the chat.
All right. Perfect. Okay, what's it? My dogs are barking. I apologize.
What's the
They're
best way to
hungry.
show our support on January 13th if we're working?
Okay, the date is actually February 13th, so we will make sure we get that date out to you guys. And if you are working, we will come up with a way for you guys to support everybody on the line by either getting a ribbon or something behind our pins to make sure that we are all in solidarity with the people who are out there picketing. So once again, it'll be February 13th, the best way, the day before Valentine's. And so we will get as much information to you, Joy, before that happens.
If you see things on social media, like, share, wear your pin, there's all kinds of ways to participate, and we'll make sure that we are getting that out so you, but without knowing exactly what we're doing yet, like, share on social media. If you're working that day, wear your pin. We do ribbons or something, make sure you're wearing those too. Sandra says, do you know something about the pilots union and this turn thing?
The pilots union is pretty quiet about the turn issue. Keeping in mind, I apologize. My dogs. Keeping in mind that they do have a turnover in leadership right now. Their MEC president, or they call him the chairman, MEC chairman, resigned recently. And so they're still dealing with some inner conflicts before they can deal with what's going on with Frontier, I think.
Any other questions?
The petition is on the home page. It's one of those blue blocks that you'll see. Just click, it's hyperlinked. It'll take you straight to the petition. Click the blue block, and it'll take you to the petition. Sorry.
Joy, I see your question about the lanyard, and you can get that from any of your local officers or their point of contact. So reach out to your local officers. It'll be the 3-letter code to your city at afafrontier.org, and that'll get you in touch with your local council, and they'll be able to tell you where you can find that lanyard.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm going to say have a great night, you guys. Thank you so much. Once again, next negotiations, January 23rd. Next AFA all call February 7th. And we'll talk to you guys then. Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a great night, everybody.